Shalom. Welcome to Hebrew Bible Secrets. You're listening to Rabbi Jeremy Beaton. We are reading from the book of Revelation, starting at chapter 18, verse 1. 1. And after these things I saw another Malach, another angel, come down from the Shamayim, from the heavens, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. 2. And he shouted mightily with a powerful voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and it has become the habitation of demons, and the lair for every foul ruach, unclean spirit, and the lair for every unclean bird, and a lair for every unclean and hated beast. 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her whoring, and the kings of the earth have committed whoring with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. 4. And I heard another voice from Shamayim, from heaven, saying, Come out of her, my people, that you may not be partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. 5. For her sins have reached to the Shamayim, to the heavens, and Elohim has remembered her iniquities. 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double to her, double according to her works. In the cup which she has filled, fill to her double. 7. How much she has esteemed herself, and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she said in her heart, I sit a queen, and I am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. 8. And therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahweh, Elohim, who judges her. 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed whoring and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her, and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. 10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, the great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is her judgment come. 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buys their merchandise any more. 12. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all citron wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble. 13. And cinnamon and odours, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men. 14. And the fruit that your soul lusted after are departed from you, and all your riches and splendour have departed from you, and you shall find them no more at all. 15. The merchants of these things, which were made rich by her, shall stand afar off, for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. 16. And saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple, scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. 17. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster, and all the company in ships, and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off. 18. And cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like to this great city? 19. And they cast dust on their heads, and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. 20. Rejoice over her, you Shamayim, you heavens, and you set apart emissaries and prophets, for Elohim has avenged you on her. 21. And a mighty Malak took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. 22. And the voice of harpers and musicians, and of pipers and trumpeters, shall be heard no more at all in you, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in you, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in you. 23. And the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in you, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in you. For your merchants were the great men of the earth, for by your sorceries were all nations deceived. 24. And in her was found the blood of prophets, and of Kodashim set upon saints, and of all that was slain upon the earth. So that ends chapter 18. So let's have a look at some of the footnotes here. So the first footnote we have is in verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of your whoring, and the kings of the earth have committed whoring with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. So let's have a look at this word, delicacies. So here we have, she was selling crude oil, which made many nations rich. So this is what this word delicacies means. It's relating to the oil of Saudi Arabia, okay, and of Babylon, which is Iraq. So let's have a look at the next footnote, which is in verse 4. And I heard another voice from the Shamayim, from the heavens, saying, Come out of her, my people, that you may be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. So let's have a look at this word, plagues. So all the people of Yahweh, of God, are ordered to leave places such as Saudi Arabia and Iraq before their great destruction comes about. So like I said before, this is relating to Saudi Arabia and Iraq. So let's have a look at the next footnote, verse 7. How much she has esteemed herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she said in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. So let's have a look at this word, sorrow. So some could only dream of the very affluent lives and luxuries that the Saudis boast about, with their great amount of wealth. Their homes are adorned with marble and artifacts laden with gold and silver. Just look at the architecture to ascertain their prosperity. Silver spoons, golden cups and plates are but a few items to name. So we also have here underneath Isaiah 47:10, which reads, For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, None seeth me. So let's move on to the next footnote, which is in verse 9, sorry. And the kings of the earth who have committed whoring and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. So let's have a look at this word, burning. So here we have, when these nations go up in smoke, the merchants or businessmen will stand from the Red Sea and see the smoke and be crying as their businesses or their business empires will start to fall. So obviously, you know, there's going to be a lot of businesses that are going to collapse because of this judgment that's coming down on Saudi Arabia. Okay, let's have a look at the second footnote, which is verse 14. And the fruits that your soul lusted after are departed from you, and all your riches and splendour have departed from you, and you shall find them no more at all. So let's have a look at this. No more at all. This city is in Revelation 18. Burns literally. So we have here, it is built around a desert. That's in Revelation 17:3. It stands beside 7 mountains. That's in Revelation 17:9. The merchants sell it, their merchandise, fast cars, planes, gold, and other stuff mentioned in Revelation 18:12 and 13. It is called Babylon, Revelation 18:10. And the 10 kings will burn the harlot, Revelation 17:16. So if you go back to the teachings we've done before, you can you can listen to those again and hear what is being said in Revelation 17 and also Revelation 18. Okay, let's go to the next footnote, which is verse 15. The merchants of these things, which were made rich by her, shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. Let's have a look at this word, weeping and wailing, or the word wailing. Many companies will go bust, and some nations will go bankrupt as a result of this burning. So you can see this is going to be a major thing that's going to take place here through Abba Yahweh, through God. So let's go to the next footnote. So we have in verse 19, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. So let's have a look at this word, desolate. Some of these people will not just cry, but will kill themselves because their businesses are gone and they have no expectation left as people who put their expectation in wealth, have no expectation in the eternal order. This will be the credit crunch of 2008 multiplied a few times. So, you know, it's telling us here that, you know, a lot of these people, all they cared about was money and wealth and riches. And, you know, they never cared about Hashem, you know, the Heavenly Father. So now, obviously, a lot of these people have relied on their money and their wealth. And now that's gone up in smoke, or they've lost it all. And so many of these people will now kill themselves because of this. So that brings us to the end of chapter 18. And I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the other side. Thank you for watching. Shalom, shalom.